everyone. This is the Sports Spiral, and I'm going to have a look at NFL Week 16, the results of those games, and then I'm going to preview Week 17. That's the playoff picture. It's changing, and it will wrap up pretty soon. This is also a big week of games for college football, the bowl games and semifinal games. So you can check out my full video for those. So here's week 16. The Jaguars, they're really doing good now with Trevor Lawrence. They beat the Jets. Zach Wilson, I don't know. I don't even think everybody really is throwing shade at him, and for good reason. He's just not good at all. And honestly, Zach Wilson may want to even consider leaving the league at this point to go to some other small football league because he's playing so poorly. We'll see what the Jets do for quarterback next week. Hopefully, they'll be able to use someone else, whether it's Strevler or whoever, or I don't know if Mike White is healed yet, but hopefully they find something out for next week so they can take a shot at the playoffs. But they would definitely be in the market for a quarterback next year. If the Jets can find a good quarterback next year, they're going to be in a lot better of a situation and they could be a much better playoff contender. But for now, the Jaguars are looking very good. They have a strong shot at the playoffs, and they controlled their own destiny. And then we have the Bills, who are already locked up in the playoffs. They beat the Bears, who are locked out of the playoffs. So easy win there. And then the Saints beat the Browns. The Saints in that division where anyone can win at that point. I don't think anyone's got it locked up. Very interesting to see what happens there. And then the Texans helped out the Jaguars by beating the Titans, who had Willis. Tannehill was out, so an easier win for the Titans there, for the Texans there. And they really help out the Jaguars, with the Jaguars on top of the division. And then the Chiefs, they were able to beat the Seahawks. Seahawks in a little bit of trouble now. I don't know if they're going to make the playoffs. And then the Vikings forged ahead with another victory, another close win for them. It's been a pretty impressive season for the Vikings. And then the Bengals got it done for the Patriots. The Panthers were able to knock off the Lions. The Lions, I think they can make the playoff, but there's definitely some tight races in the wild card spots, and also in the just winning the division. The Ravens got it done without Lamar Jackson again, beating the Falcons. At this point, it's it's a bit scary because Lamar Jackson hasn't returned yet. It's been a little while now. We'll see if he can make it in time for the playoffs. I think the Ravens have locked up a playoff spot, but they really need Lamar Jackson if they're going to succeed in the playoffs, and I don't know if he'll be back. 49ers, an impressive season for them. They got a win versus Washington, and then the Cowboys got it done versus the Eagles, beating Gardner Minshew instead of Jalen Hurts in that one. But it'll be very interesting. I think these teams probably will play again in the playoffs, maybe, but they are neck and neck for that division. And then the Steelers, they got done versus the Raiders. Packers were able to beat the Dolphins. Packers coming on strong here late in the season, kind of like the Jaguars. We'll see if they can make a playoff run. Dolphins fading fast, and I think Tua's injured, so not looking great for the Dolphins. The Rams were able to get a victory against the Broncos. And the Broncos, I think it's fair to say they're the worst team in the league right now. This was a blowout win for the Rams, who have Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield, he can be good, but he's so inconsistent. 1 week he's pretty good, and then the next week, 1 week I wouldn't say it's like Mahomes level that week, but it's a very good quarterback 1 week, and then the next quarterback, is like Zach Wilson caliber. So very inconsistent, but at least some wins are being had for the Rams. The Broncos, they've just been an entire mess the whole season. I think their defense has been pretty good, but that offense has been abysmal. And they will, I think the Broncos just need they probably need to find another new coach, and they probably need to just restart their team entirely. So it will be very interesting to see what the Broncos do and what becomes of Russell Wilson's career. Does he retire? It's just been such a bad season. And then the Bucks, they did get it done in overtime versus the Cardinals. We'll see if they can lock up the division, but it's just been a poor year for the Buccaneers. And then the Chargers got it done pretty easily versus the Colts. Colts have been on quite the quarterback carousel, and really no one has worked for them since, maybe Philip Rivers and Andrew Luck a few years ago. So, yeah, we'll see if they can ever find a quarterback. But moving on to week 17, we have the Cowboys going against the Titans. I've got the Cowboys there. The Titans are fading fast with Malik Willis at quarterback, so I'm going to pick the Cowboys there. And then the Falcons going against the Cardinals. I'm going to go with the Falcons. I think the Cardinals are a mess as well, so some of these teams that used to be good are just turning into a complete mess. And then we have the Lions going against the Bears. The Lions need this one to help them get into the playoff. Chiefs going against Denver should be an easy win for the Chiefs there. And then Patriots against Dolphins. Dolphins fading fast, so I'm going to go with the Patriots in that one. That's the line that they have. And then Giants versus Colts should be able to get that one done for the Giants. Eagles going against the Saints. Saints, they still have a shot at making the playoff, I think, even though, no one has really talked about them, but at the same time, everyone in that division does. And then you have the Bucks versus the Panthers. That'll be a major game for that division as well. And then Washington versus Cleveland. I think maybe these teams have a chance, but we'll see what becomes of that. Jaguars really could use a win versus the Texans. I think they can get it done, but will be very interesting to see what happens in the AFC South. And then 49ers looking very good. They should be able to beat the Raiders. I believe Derek Carr was benched there. So, yeah, some of these teams that used to have consistent quarterbacks, Russell Wilson, Derek Carr, Kyler Murray, they're all falling apart. And then the Jets will be very interesting to see if they can beat the Seahawks. Important game for the playoff race there. And then we have an NFC North game with the Vikings and the Packers. Huge game right here. Packers really could use the win. And they are favored, but Rodgers is a little banged up here. And the Vikings, I think the Vikings get this one done, even though the Packers are favored. And then you have the Battle of LA. It's the Chargers versus the Rams. And with Baker Mayfield for the Rams, this one could be interesting, but I'm going to go with the Chargers since with Justin Herbert, he's going to play pretty well, but Mayfield's kind of all over the place. And then the Ravens, I don't think it matters too much if they win or not, except for their seeding, but they're going against the Steelers. That would be a close one. Lamar Jackson's still questionable, so we'll see if he can come back in time for the playoffs. Then a really good Monday night game. It's the Bills versus the Bengals. Should be a really good game. I'm going to go with the Bills, but, the Bengals could definitely win this one. So looking at kind of the power teams currently for the sides. So for AFC, my power teams are going to be the Bills, the Bengals, and the Chiefs. I think those are the top three for the AFC. And then for the NFC, I'm going to go with 49ers, Cowboys, and Eagles are going to be my top three there in no particular order. So it's a tight race though, and we'll see what turns out in the playoffs should be really fun. We got one more week of games after this. Some of the better teams will probably bench starters, so that'll make picking a little bit harder. But that's going to do it for this video. Please make sure to subscribe and like. And this is the Sports Spiral. Bye.